Right from the get-go, we hear a desperate voice, pleading, "Please, don't kill me." The sheer terror in their voice is palpable, echoing through whatever bleak space they're in. This person is clearly in a life-or-death situation, begging for their existence. Mentioning their daughter is very sick, a heartbreaking detail that immediately tells you the stakes here are unbelievably high. We then hear an ominous command, "Close your eyes," followed by a chilling ultimatum. If you want to live, do as I say. It's pure, unadulterated fear. And then, just like that, a voice announces, "Player 246, eliminated." Boom. Just like that, someone's gone, and we're left with the immediate understanding that death is a very real, very present consequence in this game. But wait, it gets even darker. We quickly jump into a conversation that reveals a truly sinister layer to these games. Someone remarks, "Finally decide to be a good girl, did we?" implying a change of heart or a new directive. The response is chilling. I gave it some thought. Since they're going to die anyway, using their organs to save others isn't such a bad idea. Yes, you heard that right. Organ harvesting. It's not just about winning money. There's a clandestine black market operation going on behind the scenes, turning the deceased players into commodities. The other person is thrilled, saying, "Good thinking. I'm glad you finally came around," before asking to be shown the workroom. It's a truly horrifying twist, elevating the already brutal game into something truly monstrous. They even say, "You and I are in the same boat now, aren't we? We don't want any secrets between us," suggesting a new, dark partnership has been forged around this gruesome enterprise. Meanwhile, in a completely different part of this world, a tense search is underway on a boat. Someone's missing, and they're worried he might have fallen in after drinking quite a few empty bottles last night. One person heard someone outside, some thrashing, around 3 a.m. This leads to suspicions about Captain Park, who was also out there at the time and seen holding a screwdriver. Detective Huang, who's trying to find an island within 3 or 4 days, is initially dismissive, suggesting the missing person is probably dead, and they shouldn't waste time looking for a corpse. He wants to go to the nearest port to get another drone operator. The tension here is thick. There's a strong sense that Captain Park might be hiding something, despite having saved my life and helping Detective Huang search for years. In a later scene, it's revealed that someone named Choi, who was on the boat, decided to stay behind and investigate his gut feeling about Captain Park, telling Huang to, quote, "Be careful around that prick, Captain Park." Back with the players, things are just as chaotic. They're debating their next move, with some suggesting they attack them first, while others argue that killing each other is, quote, exactly what they want us to do. A particularly desperate sentiment arises, even if it takes a sacrifice. We must put an end to this game now. They're trying to unite, urging anyone who wishes to fight with us so we can go home together to please step forward. But amidst this, we see the aftermath of previous eliminations. We hear an announcement that a, quote, a total of 35 players were eliminated last night, leaving, quote, 60 players remain in the game. The prize money has swollen to a staggering 39.6 billion won, with each person's share is 660 million won. This is followed by a vote to decide whether to continue the games or not. Player 456, Gi-hun, is completely broken, repeatedly screaming, "Why did you keep me alive? Why didn't you kill me? Answer me. Tell me why." He's clearly suffering from immense guilt and trauma, begging the guards to shoot me and kill me too. When it's his turn to vote, player 456 is so overwhelmed that he, quote, forfeited his vote, which is counted as an abstention. This is such a wild move because, let's be real, who doesn't vote when billions are on the line? The result of the vote is dramatic. After the democratic process, the games are set to proceed with the next game tomorrow, but there's immediate fallout. Some players turn on Gi-hun, player 456. One accuses him of staging a rebellion to lure people out and having them all killed at once. Another points out the suspicious fact that Gi-hun was brought back while others were killed. They cynically thank him, saying that, quote, thanks to you taking out the Reds and getting them all killed, the money went up and we won the vote by a landslide. It's a gut-wrenching moment as they give him a sarcastic big round of applause. It's pure psychological warfare among the players, proving that even among the victims, humanity is quickly eroding. Meanwhile, the creepy organ harvesting operation continues. We see a woman, number 011, described as a good one and a gift to us. She's asked, "Where did you learn to shoot?" and reveals she was in the military in North Korea, even admitting, "My commander was a lot like you, and I put a bullet in his head." This is Gi-hun, a powerful and dangerous individual forced into this gruesome situation. In the workroom, where they keep masks off to foster trust, the man who needs a blood transfusion, the one from earlier who was alive, is brought in. Jun-hee is explicitly told, "Save this man. If he dies, you do too." She even offers her type O blood for a transfusion, which works for him. The irony of her being forced to save someone, when she's also a gift for organ harvesting, is just chef's kiss level of dark irony. And now, for the next horrific challenge. The fourth game is hide and seek. But of course, it's not the innocent children's game we know. The players are divided into two teams, blue and red. The blue team, hiders, must either find the exit and escape within 30 minutes, or stay hidden until the time is up. They're given keys to doors, which, once unlocked, cannot be relocked. The red team, taggers, however, has a much more sinister objective. They must find members of the blue team and kill them within 30 minutes. And the cherry on top, if the red team fails to kill any opposing players, they will be eliminated. This immediately sparks outrage, with players shouting, "That's not fair," and questioning, "How do you expect us to kill someone with our bare hands?" The staff, ever so gracious, then reveals a small gift for the red team, knives. Yep, a delightful set of blades for hunting down fellow players. Before the game starts, there's one last agonizing twist. Players can switch roles with someone on the opposing team upon mutual agreement. This leads to some incredibly poignant and desperate moments. Min-soo, who was previously accused of hiding like a fucking rat and not helping someone who liked him, is now being pushed to be a man. He wants to switch with Jun-hee, offering to take the knife and protect her and her baby. Jun-hee, despite her past as a soldier, struggles with the idea of killing someone, but ultimately states, "To protect my baby, I'd do anything too." She decides to take the knife, intending to take someone out as quickly as I can and then come find you. There's another heartfelt exchange between Young-sik and his mom. Young-sik worries about her bad knees and the danger. His mom, with a defiant spirit, tells him not to worry, reminding him that his dad, who always threatened to kill me, died first. She reassures him that she has a weapon for emergencies and to focus on yourself, urging him to do whatever it takes to survive, and we'll get out of here together, okay? As the game is about to begin, the blue team decides to, quote, spread out and find the exit instead of just hiding, promising to shout and let everyone know if they find it. The red team, on the other hand, strategizes to attack them together, and just to amp up the tension, the VIPs have arrived, ready to watch the gruesome spectacle. We hear a desperate voice, full of raw fear, pleading, "Can you hear me?" There's a tense exchange where someone confirms, "Good, he's awake," and the man, later identified as Neon's father, desperately reminds someone, you promised to let me live." Yet, another voice calmly states, "I'm trying to save your life." This whole interaction is steeped in dread, hinting at a broken promise and a terrifying, involuntary procedure, leaving you wondering if saving a life, in this context, is just another horrific twist on death. On one side, we've got the blue team, the hiders, desperate to find an exit. On the other, the red team, the taggers, armed with knives and a thirst for blood. Previous episode recap established knives. And Namgyu/Myung-ji. I clearly have them here. We immediately catch up with two of these taggers, Namgyu and Myung-ji. Namgyu is taking some kind of substance, claiming it's just a little something to boost my confidence and strength. He's absolutely seething about someone named Thanos, who apparently disrespected him, calling him Namsu instead of Namgyu countless times. He even busts out an impression of Thanos, his supposed nemesis, declaring, "Let's go kill half of humanity." Yeah, because the game isn't already deadly enough, right? Namgyu, feeling generous after supposedly bumped off Thanos, offers some of his amazing Myung-ji confidence booster to Myung-ji, who flat out refuses. This duo is a disturbing blend of sadism and internal bickering. Meanwhile, the blue team is navigating the labyrinthine game arena. Gi-hun, clearly strained and breathing heavily, is doing his best to survive. A particularly eccentric member of their group, whom others later call the Shaman of the Sea, claims a unique ability. "I don't rely on my eyes to see the way. I follow the voices of the souls who died in here," and people actually believe him, telling him, "I believe you, Shaman of the Sea." Talk about a wild spiritual guide and a death trap. This self-proclaimed shaman insists everyone, "Follow me quietly, or get lost if you lack faith in me." Desperate, others quickly agree, "I believe in you. I'll follow you, no matter what." Their initial hope for escape hinges on this mystical guidance. A small team, including Jiang-dae, discovers that not all keys fit all doors. There are 3 distinct keyhole shapes: circle, triangle, and square. Conveniently, their group, Hyunju with a circle, Jun-hee with a triangle, and Jiang-dae with a square, collectively holds all 3 keys. They decide Hyunju should hold all the keys for efficiency, declaring themselves a great team. As the game progresses, the brutal reality of the hunt sets in. We hear screams, gasps, and the chilling sounds of knives finding their mark. The cold, impersonal voice of the PA system repeatedly announces who is eliminated and who passes. Dae-ho, a hider, is found by Gi-hun and desperately begs for his life, pleading, "Please don't kill me." Later, Dae-ho confronts Gi-hun, accusing him of manipulating the vote to continue the games and being the reason others died, demanding to know, how come you were the only one to come back alive? The accusations turn into a desperate, violent struggle between the two. Amidst the chaos, we see the harrowing journey of Jun-hee, who in the previous episode was established as a formidable former North Korean soldier. She suffers a painful injury, possibly a fractured ankle, making it impossible to walk. Her companions, Jiamja and Hyunju, try to decide the best course of action. Jun-hee bravely urges them to find the exit without her, offering to hide alone. Jiamja, showing incredible loyalty and compassion, insists on staying with Jun-hee, while Hyunju is sent to seek the exit. Just when you think things can't get any more dramatic, a shocking twist. Jun-hee's water breaks. In the middle of this bloody deathmatch, she goes into labor. Giamja and Hyunju rally around her, coaching her through the agonizing process. It's a surreal and heartbreaking moment of new life amidst overwhelming death. And against all odds, a tiny little princess is born. Hyunju, now holding the newborn baby, bravely continues the search for the exit. She manages to find it, but just as she gets there, she's ambushed by player 202. A brutal fight ensues with Hyunju straining and fighting back fiercely. In a desperate act to protect the baby and survive, she manages to eliminate her attacker. With the exit found, Hyunju desperately calls out, "I found the exit. We can get out of here together. Come on, hurry." Meanwhile, Young-sik, who promised his mother he would do whatever it takes to survive, finds himself in an impossible situation. He encounters a player he recognizes from a previous game who desperately begs for his life, revealing he has a sick mother with cancer outside. Despite his internal struggle, Young-sik kills him, passing the game. When he returns to his mother, he's broken, admitting he, quote, couldn't kill anyone and that he's going to die. In a truly heart-wrenching moment, his mother, Giamja, offers the ultimate sacrifice. "Mom, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I couldn't kill anyone, Mom. Nobody. Then stab me. I've lived long enough." She tells him if he stabs her, he, Jun-hee, and the baby will survive. With tears streaming down his face, Young-sik makes the unthinkable choice, stabbing his own mother. As the game's timer runs out, Young-sik is left sobbing over his dying mother, apologizing profusely. Just then, a guard approaches. Jamja, with her dying breath, makes a final, desperate plea, claiming, "I did that to him," in an attempt to spare her son, but it's all in vain. A single gunshot rings out, and the PA system announces, "Player 007 eliminated." Young-sik too is gone, a victim of the brutal rules and the cruel fate that demands sacrifice. Back with Namgyu and Myung-ji-ai, their sadistic pursuit continues. Namgyu, with his sensible brain, even figures out a twisted strategy. If they kill more blue team players than necessary, it'll eliminate red team players who won't have anyone left to kill, thereby increasing their own prize money share. Talk about turning a bloodbath into a perverse financial strategy. Namgyu, still obsessed with the doll eyes of his victims, continues to taunt Myung-ji-ai, criticizing him for being too damn soft and for losing money with his MG coin venture. Apparently, even in a death game, cryptocurrency failures are still prime roast material. Myung-ji-ai, despite passing the game, is desperately searching for Se-mi, the woman he promised to protect. Namgyu, however, seems intent on finding her too, but for far more sinister reasons, humming a disturbingly romantic tune while scraping his knife on the wall. Seriously, what is wrong with this dude? The Shaman of the Sea, Seon Nyeo, desperately tries to save herself by manipulating a red player, offering to clear his bad karma if he kills a specific betrayer, player 388, who injured his leg and went that way, leaving a trail of blood. But her ploy is cut short when Namju appears. Min-soo, frantically searching for CMI, is confronted by Namju. Namgyu viciously taunts Min-soo, calling him a fucking loser for hiding and doing nothing when "Sam, I liked you." In a sudden brutal act, Namgu stabs Seon Nyo. The episode culminates in a heart-wrenching moment as Se-mi appears, gravely injured or dying, calling out Minsu's name. The PA system confirms her elimination. Player 380, eliminated. Myunggi's desperate quest to save her is tragically in vain. We hear the cold PA system ordering, "All staff, please clear away the eliminated players." Amidst eerie music, you can hear a man yelling and masked soldiers groaning. It's a grim reminder of the recent bloodbath. Two masked soldiers are gloating, one chuckling, "Damn, that was close. Good thing I like to go hunting." Seriously, these guys are having a blast hunting people. Makes you wonder what they do for fun on their days off. They're even discussing going upstairs to find more of them, implying there might still be hiders to flush out. Back among the victors, we find Namgu in a frantic state. Remember his bizarre Thanos impression from last time? Turns out he's hooked on some kind of pills, which he keeps in a cross necklace. He's absolutely losing it because he can't find it, pleading with a masked soldier to let him back into the arena. He whines, "I can't do anything without it." Turns out, even in a death game, some folks just can't function without their daily dose of whatever that was. It's pathetic, but also a stark look at how fragile these winners truly are, dependent on their vices, even in this hellhole. Now, for the big moment, the results of the fourth game and the vote to continue. A masked manager, with all the personality of a broken vending machine, announces that 35 players were eliminated, leaving only 25. The prize money has ballooned to a mind-boggling 43.1 billion won, making each survivor share a cool 1.724 billion won. And then, the ultimate psychological torture, a vote to end the games or continue. Up in their opulent viewing suite, the VIPs are having a grand old time watching this spectacle. One VIP is practically giddy, declaring that watching the voting is more exciting than the actual games. Apparently, a few billion won is just pocket change to these folks, but watching desperate people squirm is priceless entertainment. It's like they're watching a twisted reality TV show, which, let's be honest, it basically is. The frontman, ever the manipulator, explains that most players will vote to continue. Why? Because they've already killed to get this far, and the thought of more money from more deaths is too tempting. Plus, after the chaotic riot, people are terrified to vote against the majority. One by one, the players cast their votes. There's a lot of hesitation, heavy breathing, and silent anguish. Then, Gi-hun, who survived the previous game after a horrifying personal sacrifice, steps up. She makes an incredibly emotional plea, begging everyone to stop the games. Have some pity on this old woman, I beg you. She even offers to give up all her money, telling them she's lived long enough and it wouldn't matter if she died. Her only concern is saving Jun-hee and the newborn baby, pleading, "But we can't let that baby and its mom die, can we?" The VIPs, in their utter depravity, find her tearful speech touching and even laugh about it. One VIP scoffs, calling her senile and mocking her for killing her own son to save a baby she just met. Another casually mentions, "After all, there's many times I've wanted to bury my son alive." Seriously, these VIPs make the Lannisters look like a healthy, well-adjusted family. Finally, it comes down to player 456, Gi-hun. And in a surprising move, Gi-hun forfeits his vote. When the results are in, 16 votes to continue, 8 to end, and 1 abstention. The game will continue tomorrow. The despair among the players is palpable. While all this is happening, other plots are thickening. We briefly see Nayeon's father, clearly in distress, being urged by No-yeol to suck it up and follow her instructions if he wants to live. This shadowy interaction hints at a desperate escape plan from within the organization itself. Meanwhile, outside the island, Junho's investigation into the disappearances is heating up. His contact, Woo-si, calls him, revealing that Captain Park, whose real name is apparently Park Young-gil, and Captain Ko are shady characters, practically ghosts in the area, with no one knowing anything about their backgrounds. Junho, sensing something, feels like he's been here before on the island and orders the drone closer despite dangerous reefs. Back on the island, the frontman is suspicious about the operating room incident. It's confirmed that player 016, the doctor who was secretly removing organs, is dead and his body is missing, while player 246 is found in his room. The masked manager believes No-yeol, player 011, is behind it, having dressed 016 in a tracksuit to disguise him as a player. No-yeol, a masked soldier, brazenly confronts the frontman, admitting her involvement in taking, quote, "a few organs from trash that's gonna die anyway." She then boldly demands a boat and an assignment to outer perimeter patrol for herself and 016 Young-sik's, threatening to expose the VIPs if her demands aren't met. It's a high-stakes power play. Later, Jun-ho, still on his external investigation, is shot at, and we hear his brother In-ho tell him to come with me. Jun-ho identifies where he was shot, confirming the island is nearby, and they plan to search at dawn. In a profoundly somber moment, Gi-hun sits with Jun-hee and the baby. Jun-hee is blaming herself, but Jun-ja assures her, don't ever think that. From now on, this baby is your only concern. Jun-ja then shares her own devastating story, a story that explains her desperate plea during the vote. She recounts how her son, Young-sik, was a soft kid. He was constantly beaten down by life, blaming himself for every misfortune. His employer's bankruptcy, his creditors, being conned at gambling, even a friend running off with his money. One day, fed up, she screamed at him, telling him she regretted bringing him into the world and wished she'd never had a useless idiot son like him. That night, Young-sik overdosed, leaving a suicide note. She rushed him to the hospital, praying to God and promising to do anything if my boy was spared, even jump into a pit of fire. But the twist, the ultimate heartbreak, is that she ended up killing him herself in the game. Her voice trembling, she repeats, "I killed my own child." This confession resonates deeply with Gi-hun, who also admits he was never a good father to his own daughter. He tells Jun-hee, "It's not your fault." He understands that they made their own choices. Jun-ja, still clinging to a sliver of hope, begs Gi-hun to save Jun-hee and her baby, stating, "I still believe that you came here to save us all." Gi-hun, despite his self-doubt, "I'm not that kind of person," promises to help Jun-hee protect her baby, asserting, "It's not her fault she was born in this hellhole." It's a powerful moment of shared humanity amidst the horrors. Meanwhile, Woo-sik is on his own perilous mission, breaking into Captain Park's supposed house, armed with a gun from the bastard who killed the boss. He finds something significant, muttering, "Park Young-gil, this is it." But his investigation is abruptly cut short when a dog attacks him, and then police sirens, leading to his arrest, just when it felt like he was getting somewhere. The PA system announces the fifth game, jump rope. Players must cross a bridge by jumping over a continuously rotating rope within 20 minutes. The VIPs are of course thrilled. One VIP voices concern about player 222, Jun-hee, who has an injured leg and now a baby. But another VIP, who ironically bet on her while drunk, proposes putting the baby in the game to make it more exciting. He suggests it might turn Jun-hee into some kind of Marvel superhero, like Wonder Woman? I mean, points for creativity, but really, using a baby as a dramatic plot device for your twisted betting game? That's next level villainy, even for these guys. The frontman naturally agrees, and the masked manager confirms everyone here is a player, even a newborn. The players hesitate to go first. Jun-hee, desperate, asks Gi-hun to take her baby. Gi-hun, remembering his promise to Jeong-ja and his own past, steps up. He bravely takes the baby, navigating the treacherous rotating rope. It's a nail-biting sequence as he leaps and strains, barely making it across with the crying infant. He passes, and the VIPs erupt in cheers. Gi-hun, ever the protector, yells to Jun-hee, "I'll come get you right away." But not everyone is so noble. Nam-gyu, still fixated on his lost necklace, tries to get it back from Min-soo. Min-soo, clearly fed up, throws the necklace onto the bridge. "If you want it, go get it." Desperate for his pills, Nam-gyu leaps onto the bridge. He scrambles forward, but in his drug-addled state, he misses a jump, gets tangled in the rope, and is brutally eliminated, falling to his death. The VIPs, of course, find his dramatic demise hilarious. This recap from episode 1 to 3 leaves us with a dwindling number of players, each survivor a testament to their own resilience or ruthless nature. With alliances shattered and moral lines blurred, the question remains, who will survive the next game, and what will be left of their humanity? Stay tuned for the next recap, because in Squid Game 3, the only thing more shocking than the games themselves are the twisted individuals who play them, and the even more twisted ones who watch.